Hello everyone, welcome to my knitting channel. In today's tutorial we are going to knit these easy mittens using only round needles and soft mink yarn. This tutorial is easy because the same scheme can be used for the right hand and for the left hand. So this is the right variant, and if you want you can just change that and it's gonna be for the left hand. So let's get started. To start knitting we need mink yarn. I need 1.5 skein for the pair of mittens. This is mink yarn and it is 50 grams and 350 meters. I also need this extra thread which goes with the yarn, and I also need knitting needles number 4. I need a hook and I need some markers to mark my rows. Let's get started. To start knitting we need to decide with the size. So I'm going to use measuring tape and I'm going to measure my hand in the biggest part. So my hand is 22.5 centimeters. The mitten fits perfectly. So, and I'm going to cast on 36 stitches. So 36 stitches plus 1. To start knitting, we need to triple the yarn because one thread is too thin for us. To do so, I fold the yarn like that, and I extend our thread through this loop. So it becomes tripled. Then I extend it. The yarn finishes. I again extend the yarn from this loop like that. And every time it finishes, I extend the yarn from the loop, and I have tripled yarn from one skein. Also, I'm gonna add this extra thread, and basically I have 4 threads to start knitting. I'm gonna cast 36 stitches plus 1 to close the row. So because our mittens are gonna be knitted as one, we don't need to connect any parts with each other. I've casted on the right amount of stitches. Now the task is to divide visually the number of stitches and extend needles from here, like this. To do that, we need to be careful that the endings of our stitches don't get messed. We are doing this to connect 2 sides of the thread of the knitting with each other. So to connect, I take off the stitch, our working stitch, put it on the other needle, and extend the next stitch from our stitch, using the hook or the needles, however you feel comfortable. So I extend, take it off, and put it back, like that. And we start knitting with the longer one. Be careful not to take the short one. And to start doing that, I need to knit around 5 centimeters with this pattern. So 2 knit stitches and 2 purl stitches. So 2 knit stitches. And 2 purl stitches. So you do like this, you knit until you get around 5 centimeters. If you want this part to be longer, you can knit longer, however you feel comfortable. I'll meet you when I finish knitting all of these stitches. I've knitted 5 centimeters, alternating 2 knit stitches and 2 purl stitches. And also I knitted 5 centimeters until our finger, 5 centimeters with stockinette stitches. Just stockinette stitches, no increasing, nothing. And here we need to start creating our finger. To do that, we need to take off 6 stitches, 6 or 7 stitches, depends on how wide your finger is. I'm going to take off 6 stitches, starting from the row. Here I'm using tooth stick to do that, and just picking up the stitches like that. So 6 stitches, and we leave them, we do not need them until we finish knitting this part. We need to pick up 6 stitches that we took off to continue knitting in the right way. To do that, just like that, taking the thread and from the back, 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we continue knitting with stockinette stitches like that. So here we will have the space to knit our finger later. Now we need to knit with stockinette stitches around 9 centimeters. Depends how long is your palm. So we will meet here, and here we will decrease the stitches. So around 9, if your hand is bigger, you can knit 10 centimeters. And I will meet you here where we are going to decrease the stitches. Knitting with stockinette stitches, and do not touch the finger until we close the mitten here. I've knitted the right length for my hand, and it's time to close the row, to close the mitten. To do so, I've divided my stitches into 4, so I have 9 stitches in every part. So to do that, to mark the stitches, you can use the markers. I'm going to use only on 2 sides because here I understand that it's also 9 here. So to close that, we will knit the last from each part, the 9th, and the first from the next part as one to the right. So here we knit this and this one to the right, and we need to decrease the stitches 4 times in every row. So here we decrease the stitches to the right, here this stitch and this stitch, 1 stitch before the marker and 1 stitch after the marker, we knit as 1. Then here we also knit these 2 stitches to the right as 1, and here as 1. We do that until we close the mitten. Let's do it with me. So now I need to put this stitch to that needle. To do that, and I'm going to do like this. So knit these 2 to the right, like that. Then I continue knitting until I get to that marker. For me to be easier, I take off the marker, and in the next row I will see that here I decreased the stitches, so this one and this one as 1 here to the right. So continue knitting. For me to be easier, I put this stitch to the other side and knit as 1, like that. These 2 as 1. Again, I knit until I get to the marker. And 1 stitch before and 1 stitch after, I knit as 1. And I continue knitting until the next row where we decreased the stitches, and do the same. So I don't need the markers anymore because I can see that here I decreased. So in every next row you knit this decreased stitch with the previous one to the right. I've closed the mitten on the 4 sides. Now I have 4 stitches left. I decided to put all the stitches on one needle, and then I'm going to close the row. To do that, I take off the first stitch, knit 2 as 1, then I take and close it, and the last one is 1, close it like that, and extend the stitch from here. Then I cut the thread, then I extend the thread and do it like that. So using the hook, I put this extra thread into the mitten, so it looks like that, closed. And I hide this thread somewhere in between the stitches. And cut the extra thread. So that's what we get. Now we are going to create the finger. The idea is the same. Change this to a stick and put the stitches on the needles. And you need to find the stitches, to get the stitches on around this hole. So I take one here, I take 6 from here, just like that. 1, 2, 3. And I take 1 from here, just not to have the hole. Yeah, so I take 1. I take 1 from here also, and basically that's what I get. So 6 from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7 from here. You can take more. I have 13, so it's enough for me. It is the same like I have here. The idea is the same. You knit with knit stitches, and I need to add the thread somewhere in between. I just find any place I can attach the thread. Later we are going to hide it. And I just start knitting with knit stitches. So I took one stitch from the side and it's a little bit loose. So for it not to look loose later, I just do like this, cross knit this one, and continue knitting. And I knit like this until I get the right length of the finger. So it depends on your hand. You can knit until here and you try it on to adjust the length of your finger. I have knitted 6 centimeters of my finger and now it's time to close. We will close on 2 sides and we will close it to the right. So you need to divide all the stitches into half and then you start closing. So like that, 2. And on the other side, again, you close 2 as one, knit 2 as one. To the right. And on each needle, in the beginning, you decrease the stitches, knitting them as one. And I decrease the stitches like this until I get 2 stitches left on the needles. Here I've decreased the stitches and it's time to close the finger. I have 2 stitches left and I put them on one needle and I need to put this second stitch on the first like that and extend the thread. So this is closed. Then I cut the thread, do like that, adjust these little threads, and then like I did with the ending of the mitten, I using the hook put this thread into this finger like this. Tighten it up, and here again hide somewhere in between, and that's all. So adjust a little bit, and that's the mittens that we have got. Doesn't matter which side you need, you can adjust your mittens for the right hand and for the left hand, however you like it. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Until the next time, goodbye.